All right, so if you're a professional, an entrepreneur, or maybe you're part of a corporate team getting ready for an extended stay in Asia Pacific, let's focus on Korea for this.
Right, the big move.
Exactly. You already know about the big operational things, right? The flights, the contracts, the visa applications. That's all on your radar,
A checklist stuff.
the checklist stuff. But what often catches people completely off guard isn't the paperwork. It's the day-to-day cultural friction, the small things that add up.
And that is exactly where we want to jump in today. Our whole mission here is to go way beyond the standard travel guide advice.
Mhm.
We're going to dig into the sources you've shared and pull out the most important, the really actionable stuff. We're talking unexpected social rules, communication gaps.
And the practical steps you need to take.
Precisely. How to turn what feels like a temporary assignment into a genuinely comfortable, integrated life there.
Which brings us to the central question, really. For anyone planning a stay that's longer than just a few days, how do you secure a comfortable base of operations, integrate smoothly, and, actually start feeling like you belong?
Yeah, let's unpack it.
Let's do it. Let's start with those foundational cultural norms, the ones that seem to surprise almost every single newcomer. The sources all seem to agree that one of the biggest initial shocks for expats is the shift in social behavior, especially around, well, modesty and group harmony.
Yes.
If you come from a culture where, self-promotion is kind of necessary to get ahead, Korea can feel like a complete reversal.
It is, and it helps to understand the why behind it. This isn't arbitrary. It's deeply rooted in values that prioritize the group over the individual. There's also a very subtle but firm respect for hierarchy.
So bragging is just out.
It's really frowned upon. Overtly promoting your achievements or your skills.
Mhm.
It's seen as potentially disrupting the harmony of the group.
Okay, so let's make this practical. What about something simple, like
Uh,
receiving a compliment at work? My instinct is to just say, "Thank you, I worked really hard on that."
Right, and in many cultures, that's the perfect response.
Right.
But the sources show that in Korea, that can sometimes be read as a little arrogant.
Really?
Yeah, the expected response is one of humility. The idea is to deflect the praise slightly, or to acknowledge that you still have room to improve.
And you might say something like, "Thank you, but I still have a lot to learn."
Exactly. Or you'd attribute the success to the team. We all worked hard on this. It signals that you recognize your success isn't just yours alone, and that you respect the contributions of others.
Okay, but here's a point of friction I can see for our listener. If you're managing a Western team or launching a startup, isn't there a risk that constantly downplaying your success could be seen as, I don't know, false modesty? Or even a lack of confidence?
That's a fantastic point, and it's a tightrope that multinational professionals have to walk every day. The key is really knowing your audience. With your Korean colleagues or your superiors, that deflection is read as respect and maturity. With your international colleagues, you can be more direct, but maybe still add a quick mention of the team.
So you're basically code switching.
Your code switching,
Yeah.
it's about maintaining that respect for the local culture without undercutting your professional reputation on a global scale.
Okay, let's pivot to another huge point from the sources. The unspoken rule of quiet in public spaces.
Ah, yes. Reverence for the shared space.
It's a massive shift, especially on public transport, right? Buses, subways, which, if you're in a city like Seoul, are your lifeline.
This is one of the most immediate cultural cues you'll pick up on,
Yeah.
or that you should pick up on.
Uh-oh.
Having a loud, extended phone conversation is an immediate social foul. It signals a real disrespect for the comfort of everyone else around you.
So what's the rule?
Keep calls extremely brief and quiet, like whisper them. Or better yet, just wait until you get off.
And what about phones for, music or videos?
Headphones. Always. Without exception. And even then, keep the volume low enough that the person next to you can't hear it. That silence you feel in a subway car isn't an accident.
It's a collective effort.
It's a collective effort. And this idea of respecting shared national space, it also extends to physical places. The sources mention being really mindful around cultural symbols like the Korean flag, the Taegugi, or historical sites. You have to show visible respect. Okay, so moving from social friction to more practical friction, the language barrier is a big one.
A huge one.
Outside of the big international hubs, Yeouido-won, parts of Gangnam, English just isn't that widely spoken.
Which means everyday tasks suddenly become major projects.
Exactly. Trying to buy clothes and figuring out sizes, dealing with a bank, ordering at a small local restaurant. Even just understanding announcements on the bus can be a hurdle.
But the good news here is that Korea is probably one of the most connected places on the planet, so technology is your best friend from minute one.
Your absolute lifeline.
Translation apps are completely non-negotiable. The sources call out two specifically. There's Google Translate, which is great for general stuff, and then there's Papago.
You have to get Papago. It's essential. It was developed by a Korean company, Naver, specifically for the Korean language.
So it's more accurate.
Much more accurate. It handles the grammar, the honorifics, the local idioms way better than a general translator. It just sounds more natural.
And you should use all the features, right? Text, voice.
Oh, yeah. The image translation is a lifesaver. You just point your phone's camera at a menu or sign, and it translates it on your screen. It's incredible.
Alongside that, you have to get on the local messaging app. This isn't just for your social life, is it?
Not at all. Everyone uses KakaoTalk.
Yeah.
It's the standard for everything. You'll use it to communicate with landlords, delivery services, even some businesses.
And it has translation features built in, too.
It does, which is just another layer of help. This all underlines why getting connected immediately, like getting a local SIM or eSIM with a good data plan the second you land, is the most important first step. It's the foundation for everything else.
But technology can only do so much. The sources are really clear that making an effort with the language itself, even just a few basic phrases, pays off massively.
Well, absolutely. It's a huge sign of respect. It shows you're not just expecting everyone to cater to you in English.
They're like cultural door openers.
That's a perfect way to put it. If you can master just 5 phrases, your daily life will get so much easier.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, 안녕하세요, hello. Then 감사합니다, thank you.
Essentials.
Right. 조선합니다, excuse me. Very useful. Igio Ilomayo, for how much is this?
Okay, and the fifth one?
This one might be the most important for a newcomer. 한국어 열 못 하요.
Which means?
I don't speak Korean well. Saying that right away manages expectations, it shows humility, and people are usually much more patient and willing to help you out.
It shows you're trying. And the effort is what counts.
The effort is appreciated more than perfect grammar, definitely.
So we've covered the social side, the digital tools. Now let's get into the big one, logistics. What do you do in those first critical weeks to actually set up a comfortable home base?
Well, first, that connectivity piece we just talked about. Get that local phone number immediately. You'll need your passport, but you can usually do it right at the airport or any carrier store.
It's not just for calls, is it?
No, you need it for everything. KakaoTalk, navigation, it's non-negotiable. The second, and much bigger challenge, is housing.
Yeah, the sources were very clear that the Korean housing market can be a nightmare for foreigners.
It's a huge logistical headache. First, you've got the deposit system. There's something called jomsi, which involves a massive lump sum deposit. We're talking like 50 to 80% of the property's value.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, for shorter stays, you're more likely to use the wool system, which is monthly rent. But even then, the deposit is significant.
And the market moves fast.
Incredibly fast. You can't really lock down a place months in advance. The search usually starts just a week or two before you need to move in. And on top of all that, many landlords, understandably, prefer tenants who speak Korean fluently.
That sounds impossible to manage when you've just landed, you're jet-lagged, and you're trying to start a new job.
It's a recipe for burnout. And you get into this chicken and egg problem where you need a permanent address to get a bank account, but you can't easily get an apartment without...
The loop.
It's a loop. And this is exactly why the sources overwhelmingly recommend service departments in Seoul as the best solution for professionals and corporate teams.
So using a dedicated provider is basically the shortcut around all that initial stress.
It is. For people who need to hit the ground running, this is critical. I mean, there are companies that specialize in this, like Move and Stay. They've been helping business travelers do this for over 25 years. They connect you with these extended stay solutions. Service apartments, hotels, even serviced offices that are perfect for stays longer than just a few days. They solve these immediate setup problems for you.
And the practical benefits just line up perfectly with the problems we just talked about.
They do. You get a short-term lease, so you're not locked in. The places come fully furnished. And the big one, utilities, Wi-Fi, cleaning, it's all included.
So no administrative burden right at the start.
Zero. It gives you a comfortable, stable base so you can take your time to figure out a longer-term rental, get your visa finalized, and set up your bank account without all that pressure. It turns a month of stress into a simple check-in.
Okay, so you've got your apartment, you've got your apps running. The next big step is moving from just existing in Korea to actually belonging.
Then that's a whole other challenge.
We know professionals really struggle with this. It's hard to make real, lasting connections outside of the office.
It takes intentional effort.
Mm.
Sources all suggest strategies that revolve around a shared, consistent activity.
So not just going to a bar.
Right. More like joining a hobby group,
Right.
a sports team, an art class, a book club. Also going to local events, festivals, markets. And definitely using online expat networks for support and to find out what's going on.
I love that story from the sources about the person who found their community at an MMA gym.
It's a perfect example.
Huh.
Because it wasn't just a casual meeting. It was a shared activity that built a routine,
And a bond.
a bond that goes beyond language.
Right.
When you're doing something physical like martial arts or hiking together, you connect on a different level. That routine is what turns a big, intimidating city into a place that feels like home.
We also have to talk about the difference between being a tourist and being an expat.
A critical distinction.
As an expat, your actions carry more weight, don't they? There's a higher expectation that you'll respect local norms.
Absolutely. It means you're not just adapting when you need something. It's part of your daily life. It's about adapting your behavior without losing who you are.
It's like situational professionalism.
That's a great way to put it. Being quieter on the subway or showing a bit more deference to seniors. It's not a personality change. It's just respecting the context you're in, like wearing a suit to an interview.
And finally, the sources bring up this idea of the expat playing a role in the community, almost like a steward.
Yes, the idea of leaving breadcrumbs.
Explain that.
You went through all these hurdles, right? You figured out the rental market, the banking system, how to find a good doctor. Documenting that journey, writing down your problems and how you solve them, is an incredible service to the next wave of people coming in.
So you share that knowledge online.
Exactly. On forums, in networks. It strengthens the whole expat community and turns your personal struggles into stepping stones for someone else. It's a way of paying it forward. Hashtag tagged head outro.
We've covered a lot of ground today. I mean, from the quiet dignity of the subway to the practicalities of finding a place to live. But if there's one core message, it's that successful integration really comes down to awareness. It's about paying super close attention to the small details, how to take a compliment, the cultural weight of a monument, all of it.
It really is. The whole process takes observation and patience and real effort. But the reward is, well, it's huge. You get to transform this foreign country into a place that actually feels like home. A place where you're not just a guest, but a real part of the community.
So as we wrap up, here's a final thought for you to take with you on this journey. If you start to see adaptation not as losing a piece of yourself, but as mastering a new, valuable skill, what's the one daily local custom you'll commit to mastering first?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Will it be a basic Korean phrase, the art of humble conversation, or just sticking to that quiet code on the subway? Whatever it is, know that that single act is the first step that opens the door to true belonging. Start exploring that journey today.